What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more classical music, and we're back to finish off Antonin Dvořák's Czech Suite, as performed by the Polish National Radio Symphony Orchestra of Katowice. I'm going to keep saying it that way unless someone corrects me. This is conducted by Antoni Witt. This is 1994, and it's on Naxos Records. As I mentioned before, Naxos is a label that, as a late teen, early 20-something, gave me an economical way to build a increasingly impressive classical collection. I do have like over 100 of these CDs. There was another label, Amadeus, that did the same thing. I have a lot of Amadeus CDs as well, but I also have Deutsche Grammophon and Decca and a whole number of other labels that put out classical music. So as I mentioned before, I do need to start getting it up on Discogs so I can not only just have a better sense of what I have just for my own purposes, but also so people can go through and say, oh, you have this performance by this or under this conductor for this symphony, whatever. Love to take any requests like that. But like I said, we're going to listen to the end of the Czech Suite. This is the finale. It's listed as a Furiant. I should mention, I was a little confused when I started because the polka, I was like, man, the melody here, I thought that was the melody that we hear in the finale. Well, I think, if I'm remembering this right, that it is, but it's basically a theme that is in both of those movements. So, I think the exact configuration or the particular arrangement might be different in the finale here compared to the polka. But I do think it is basically the same theme. So let me know if you have a better understanding of that, or if I'm not getting that quite right. Don't hesitate to comment. Nevertheless, here we go. This is the Polish National Radio Symphony Orchestra as conducted by Antoni Witt, from 1994, and this is the finale, the Furiant, of Antonin Dvořák's Czech Suite, which is listed as Opus 39, though as I mentioned, I think the actual numbering in the chronological arrangement of his works, should be higher, but I think he wrote it lower because he didn't like what the label that he was giving his music to were doing with some of his compositions by taking some of the older ones but then giving it a higher opus number so that people would think it was a new composition when it wasn't. So it's Opus 39 as it's listed officially. I don't know what the Berghauser number is, which is, again, there was a scholar, Jarmil Berghauser, who apparently went through and actually gave a legitimate chronological ordering of Dvořák's compositions. So I guess when music scholars talk about it now, they refer to Dvořák's pieces under their B number, not necessarily the opus. Anyway, here we go. This is the finale of the Czech Suite. I do think this articulation of the theme has a bit more power and energy. Or an asserted sort of seriousness. I rate Dvořák right up there with people like Beethoven and Mozart, Wolfgang Mozart. Shout out to Leopold. Whatever his role as a father, he made some cool music too. Definitely the Furiant title or label applies to that opening segment. Amazing. more sort of light and bounding kind of feel. And I like the sort of more forceful strings offset against the talking more quietly woodwinds. Yo, I forget where it was. I saw this performed live and it was a really great version. Some tension and strain creeping into the theme there. Tried not to mention up until now, but I do have to point out that again, this piece more broadly and this movement and the polka are used in Nota Me Cantabile, the live action version, arguably one of the best television shows I've ever seen in my life. I'll leave it at that. Feeling like the piece is about to go off the rails and then it sort of steadies itself and then almost playful that moment. One of the episodes of Nota Me ends on precisely that moment. It's just fucking perfect. Apologies for the profanity. But honestly, you know, like I said, the pieces that are used in that show, several of them I was already very fond of, but now having loved that show so much, and it's sort of a celebration of different types of classical music and performing and so on, there are several pieces that are now inextricably linked to the show in my head, and that is one of them. So, like I said, I would try to concentrate on the music, but it's hard not to bring in a reference. And I do encourage people, if you haven't seen that and you do love classical music, you really need to find a way to watch it. You can find it online. There are like fan subs of it. There are also DVD releases which have decent subtitles. The fan subtitles or fan subs are much better with their English subtitles, but regardless, if you can find a way to see it, again, it's a celebration of classical music, and it's also very funny and sweet and so on. So anyway, I do very much enjoy that piece. As I said, I wanted to use it as sort of a gateway to listening to his Slavonic dances, because those are just utterly unbelievable. Several of them are just, you know, among my most favorite classical pieces, symphonic anyway. But yeah, so we'll go to those next when it comes to Dvořák. I have been sort of meaning to get around to Bach's Air on a G string. Someone had mentioned that one a while back, so someone else mentioned a concerto from Beethoven. They weren't specific, but I was thinking, oh, we could do the Emperor, might be a good one to start with. So I might get to those before I get to Dvořák's Slavonic dances, but they are on the short list, so hopefully you're here for it. Let me know if there is another classical piece you'd like to hear that's not one of the ones I mentioned. But other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a good day, have a good night. See you next time. Peace.